Well, apparently stopped. I don't know why these live streams keep on stopping. Uh, you know, if it's the niche, I haven't had problems with this. I don't it's just typical. One problem after another. But I guess, don't record, things. Okay, so we posted this on Gap. 10, 15, 16, 17, 18. So I should probably edit this and. Let's get the Roman number nonsense out. Come on. Incredible. There's no app for. And I guess that's not Gap's fault. Apparently have some problems here. Those Mastodon applications ended up banning, and in regards of Gap, it's really disgusting. Anyway, let's just put in 18, I think it was. Post. So let's see here. 15, 16, yeah, okay. Christ having sacrificed himself once and for all, amen to that, is for all eternity a perpetual and acceptable offering for the sins of all believers, from which it follows that the Mass is not a sacrifice, but is a commemoration of the sacrifice and assurance of the salvation which Christ has given us. And I guess it was written a little differently in the other version. But yeah. It's an eternal. Yeah, okay. Let's just take that and copy that. Another one. Yeah, that's one of the important things. I'm just tired all the time. Tired and sick of everything. It's And yeah, it's a gray outside. It's whatever. Anyway, so I guess it might have been a little better worded in one than the other. Anyway, let's get back to it. So that's a good point. The Mass, that Christ having sacrificed himself once on the cross or on the tree, is an external, certain, and valid sacrifice for all the sins of all believers. Thus, the Mass is not a sacrifice, but is a remembrance of the sacrifice and assurance of the salvation which Christ has given us. Yeah. I do wonder the third version, how that actually, see here, recent, how that actually translate that. 10, a little down. There we go. That Christ having sacrificed himself is to eternity a certain and valid sacrifice for the sins of all faithful, from which it follows that the Mass is not a sacrifice, but is a remembrance of the sacrifice and assurance of the salvation which Christ has given us. Yeah, at least, at different translations, I think this probably is the best one. That Christ having sacrificed himself once is an eternal, certain and valid sacrifice for the sins of all believers. Thus, the Mass is not a sacrifice, but is remembrance of the sacrifice and assurance of salvation which Christ has given to us. And in regards to the Mass is it's the Roman Catholic Mass. The idea of just breaking the bread, drinking a little wine in regards to the daily food that you eat, to remember what he did once and for all. Not to be done like only on Sundays, solar days, which, the Roman Catholic Maniac institution apparently had in the past. that was the valid mass was on Sundays. Anyway, whatever. 19, Christ is the only mediator between God and